episode 3 of Room 2740. It's amazing that it doesn't matter how many times I tell people to go and see the first episode, I'm still getting people asking me what does Room 2740 stand for. Go and look at the first episode. There is a breakdown there in all its beauty. Okay, so today I want to talk about productivity. And in running a business or running in businesses, the assumptions that people make around productivity and what it is that gets done here. So I want to break down kind of the mindset that I have around getting things done and talk about a couple of tools that I use in order to get things done within the business. So I'm going to go through them quite quickly. I don't know if I'll put up screenshots or just put lists and what have you of things that we use, but just to give you a sense or a flavor of some of the things and the attitudes that we have around being productive. One of my key influences around productivity is a good friend of mine. His name is Graham Alcott, and he has written and done podcasts and had a lot of content around productivity and what it means to actually get things done. And he has been a big influence on me alongside many others as to how, when you are working, you can make sure that you can get things done, which ultimately reduce your stress, but also make sure that you have a sense of efficiency and a sense of regularity and a sense of routine around what it is that you do. So for me, the first thing is mindset. And if you are going to be productive, you have to have a sense of a really strong mindset about what it is that you do. So let me tell you, just generally speaking, around some of the work that I do, because again, just giving people behind the scenes of what a kind of typical week or typical day looks like. So in any typical week, I could be doing some executive coaching. I could be doing speaking. Obviously, in these challenging times, it's more over Zoom. I'm delivering either keynotes or webinars. I could be facilitating roundtables and discussions and some training sessions for individuals. Obviously, a lot more bite-sized now that we are stuck to these screens. I could be writing content. I could be doing a podcast. I could be doing recording. And I could be doing that specifically just for Q Squared, which is our company, myself and Madeline. But in addition to that, I'm an advisory board. I'm on the advisory board and do some advice for an organization that helps startups. I work alongside a founder friend of mine called Dean, and we work with a few businesses just to get them to have some leadership and financial shaping. We check in on each other, every other week. I'm also the co-founder of a mastermind group that helps Black professional service companies to take to the next level. We have a weekly meet where we have a conversation about where we're going to go and the plans that we have, and it's absolutely fabulous. They're two amazing women that I work with. I also am the chair of a social enterprise called Project 507, which is about increasing peace to help reduce violence, especially for young people who are impacted or have gone through the actual criminal justice system in prisons. I'm also an advisor for Impact Hub up in Bradford, shout out Cameron, as well as mentoring and supporting other individuals. Now that seems, on the face of it, and me talking to you here, like it's a hell of a lot. But for me, it's all about being able to manage it effectively. So how's that done? But let me make it really plain. There are a couple of things that make me do what I do very well. And it's one of the first is that we have an excellent executive assistant. She's not a peer. Actually, she's our boss, all right? Afia is our boss. Let me just make that clear. It's my niece's best friend, who is more or less how we would say our niece as well. We've taken her on as our niece. But she manages the back end of what we do in our main business. And for me and Madeline, and she manages the diary. She's the one who makes sure that we get out of this step of all of the nitty gritty around contracts, around arranging calls, around meetings. She manages that whole diary and does it absolutely brilliantly. Myself and Madeline, we call her the business manager because she has that stuff on lock. And how do we do that? Well, we use Google Calendar. So between the three of us, whenever we have any appointments, and obviously it's all color coded, But any appointments that we have, any meetings, any work that we're doing, we all color code it within the diary. We know who it is. It's initialed either with DM for Dave or MM for Madeline, so we know exactly who's doing, or if it's a combination, whoever's doing that is very, very clearly defined in the diary. She also guards off certain times of the week so that they are like Friday afternoons. I don't do nothing, so I'm done. I don't work Saturdays as well, so let's just keep it. I probably work realistically a 4-hour week. A 4-day week, effectively, because I kind of like try to protect my Monday mornings and try to protect my Friday afternoons. This doesn't mean that I don't work in those days or do anything or step outside of that, but traditionally speaking, I tend not to do delivery on a Monday morning or a Friday afternoon. And if by any time in any given week that gets, a client requires me to work on a Monday morning, what I may do is then I'll go, right, I won't do it on a Tuesday. So I shift it around so that I have at least one morning free every week where it's just me, where I can just sit down, think about the planning, think about focus, think about where we're going to go. And the same thing for my Friday afternoons. My Friday afternoons are quite sacrosanct. After about 1, I'm not taking no calls, not taking no meetings. I might have a casual call with a friend, but in terms of actual business, it's my wind down. And for those who don't know, I never work on Saturdays. I grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist, so basically what that meant, similar to the Jewish religion, from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday, I never worked. It was just about rest and relaxation and rebooting. And although I'm no longer religious, I identify as agnostic now, I still keep my Sabbaths. I still don't work on a Saturday. I may once in a while go out and I'll do a charity gig or something for somebody. But generally speaking, Saturdays I switch off. No email, no working, no research, no writing, no nothing. May do a little bit of reading here and there, but I just don't work. So that's how the week is actually managed. So I want to talk to you very quickly about some of the tools, and I'm going to go into detail in a few videos that come after this to tell you about the tools that we use. But I'll give you some of the ones that we use right now. So again, as I said, we use Google Calendar between all of us to be able to manage our processes. We use Xero, the accounting software, and all three of us have access to that, so we can manage the cash flow, the invoices that are outstanding, the stuff that we raised, and budgeting, etc., etc. We use Infusionsoft, and Infusionsoft is what we use for our sales and marketing funnel. So all the stuff that comes through our website is attached to Infusionsoft, so we capture all the details. It allows us to do our newsletters and our campaigns for any of our products or our marketing that we're doing. And it's a pricey one, but it's one that we like and we really prefer. It actually works for us. I use Notion. I'm really getting into Notion. People have probably heard me talk about this quite a lot, but Notion is an amazing tool for being able to think about to-do lists, to think about how we're managing some of the processes and the products that we develop. Now, what I really love about Notion is that it allowed me to take things like Trello, Todoist, and even some of the other kind of like Airtable, even certain parts of Google Docs. What I was having as all these detached things, I pull it into one now, so I can start a project, I can store all my knowledge base, I can store the data now. Again, as I said, I'll give a bit of a presentation about that in the future, but I really like to use that as well. And obviously there are others that I use around my podcasting. I currently am trying out DaVinci Resolve for my editing, for my videos, moving away from iMovie. What do I use for? I use Audacity to edit my podcast content. I use Canva for, we share that between us for all of the stuff that we put on social media or our posters or our designs. We use Canva to be able to do that. I'm just trying to think of what else I use. Telegram. I've got WhatsApp, but I'm trying to move away from it because people are just so noisy. I like Telegram. I prefer Telegram as a platform to be able to record, and Google Drive to basically store the majority of our files. But again, as I said, what I'll do is in a future episode, I'm going to jump on to breaking down those tools bit by bit, because I think that there's a lot of individuals who will be in small, 3 to 5 person companies like ourselves who really need to think about how they do this stuff efficiently. And again, for me, it's a lot of planning. So like today on a Sunday, I will really think about my week and scope out my week. Who have I got? What are the clients? Sometimes I may drop the ball on my EA. Afia will make sure that I step back up again, just to make sure that I'm really on point in terms of delivering. So although it will seem like a lot, and although, as I said, I sit on the advisory board for 3 companies, I run my own, I'm the founder of my company, have just recently co-founded with 2 other partners a mastermind group for Black professional service companies. And there's another one, Extend VC, which is an organization that I sit alongside, who are my advisory role or founding member role is to see how we can improve access to finance for Black founders who usually don't get access to finance around venture, around angel, around loans, all that kind of stuff. We're looking as to how we can develop research and a body of work around how to make that work better. Again, these are all managed. I'm very particular about my time, and I like to make sure that, most evenings I switch off. I'm done. 7 o'clock, I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't send you. You ain't getting no email from me. And even if I do an email after 7, I'm scheduling it for the next morning that it will hit your inbox at 9 o'clock, because I'm not having people think that they can catch and get hold of me any time of the day. I'm very particular about my phone as well. If I don't want to talk to you, it's just going to go to voicemail. I don't care who you are. And if you're my friend, you actually know. Actually, if you're my friend, you've got my number. So you'll know that if I haven't answered that, I'll probably get back to you again. And so this is a kind of a roundabout way of just saying that I'm very, very guarded around how that time is managed. Because for me, it's about reducing stress, but also being very productive and also getting things done. Did I tell you I was writing a book? Anyway, I hope that it has been a bit insightful as to get you to understand in this episode of Room 274 the overall view of how time is being managed, why it's really important for us to be productive, not just busy. And we do that by carefully planning, using really good tools and working together as an amazing team. I've said it time and time again, Magdalene, my wife, she is the cornerstone, and she's the rock behind what and how the processes and approach to businesses that we have is shaped. And so a lot of that and a lot of her guidance and coaching and influence is what makes this and any of the businesses that I have tick over really well. I'll keep that 100%. So thank you for listening, and I hope you tune into the next episode of Room 2740. Hope it's been really helpful. Please, if you enjoy this, please feel to subscribe and share with other people as I go on this journey explaining how we build and develop our business and help others to develop their business into very successful organizations as well. Thank you very much for listening, and see you again soon. Peace.